Hi, I'm Kevin O'Brien, author of The Ignatian Adventure, Experiencing the Spiritual Exercises of St. Ignatius in Daily Life. Now, the spiritual exercises are divided into four phases, what he calls weeks, but those are not calendar weeks. The second phase or the second week of the exercises is actually the longest, and it's an extended contemplation on the life of Jesus. And so you begin with the birth of Jesus, and you carry it all the way through his public ministry. And the grace that we pray for in this second week or second phase of the exercises is we pray that we may come to know Jesus more intimately so as to love him more dearly and then follow him more closely. We come to know Jesus more so that we can love him more and then follow him more, to know, to love, and to follow. That's what we're trying to do. In other words, we pray that we may become more like Jesus, and we do that by gazing on him, by learning from him in the scriptures. And this is where we bring the Gospels and to the forefront of the spiritual exercises. Now, for many, this is a wonderful invitation because some people have not spent a lot of time with the Bible, or even if they have, not a lot of time in a unique way, which is by using your imagination to put yourselves into the scenes of the gospel. Now, Ignatius did not invent this way of praying, but he popularized it and made it very accessible to people. And so the invitation here is imagine yourself with Jesus in the scenes of the gospel. Use all your senses, your sight and your hearing and your smelling and feeling and touching. Bring all those senses to bear on the Gospels and imagine yourself in the scenes of the Gospel so you can come to know this Jesus, perhaps in a novel way. It's almost like you're creating a movie of Jesus's life with your own imagination. And you put yourself right in the scene of the gospel. And so if, for instance, you're meditating on the birth of Jesus, you say, okay, what did it smell like in the stable, the manger? Who was there? Who did you see? What did the cold night air feel like? The sights and sounds of that environment. You use your imagination. Some people, bristle a bit and say, "Oh, wait, I don't have that authority. It's not in the Bible." Well, we do have the authority because we trust that God is with us when we are praying these exercises. In fact, at the beginning of every exercise, we pray that God be with us. And so God, use my mind and use my imagination, use my memory during this prayer. And so we can trust that God is leading us. So we don't have to really worry about, creating something that's not there. Of course, if it gets really wild and way off track, we'll probably need to bring us back into more focus. But it's perfectly fine to imagine, as many filmmakers have done, what this must have been like to be with Jesus and to really have fun with it, to really get involved with it. And Ignatius would say at the end of your prayer to have a colloquy or a conversation with Jesus, right? So you imagine this conversation with Jesus, heart to heart. This isn't necessarily seeing a vision. It's not that, at least it isn't for me. It's really just in my imagination, my praying comes to life as I imagine myself right there. And so you put yourself in the scene. If you're with the disciples on the boat on the stormy sea, you're right there in the boat. And you might have a conversation with Jesus. You may take the place of a disciple, for instance, or you may just be another person in the boat. You meet the people that Jesus heals. You listen to him as he preaches. You just come to know Jesus in a different way. And we trust that God is with us as we use our imagination. We don't have to be afraid or nervous about following like the text of the Bible. We use the text of the Bible as a launching pad, as a platform for us to then, create this environment in which we come to know Jesus in a new way. And it's good enough for our prayer, because it leads us hopefully, and the reason or how we know this is the right use of our imagination is simply this: is it drawing us closer to Jesus? Is our imagination helping us grow in our knowledge of Jesus, in our love of Jesus, and in our desire to serve or follow him. That is, in the end, we know whether our imagination is properly used. So I hope you enjoy this way of praying. It has really brought life to my own prayer. It's not the only way I pray, but it's one way I pray with the Gospels, and they've really helped me see the Gospels in a entirely new way. They've come to life. So I wish you well on your adventure. Take care and God bless.